led by Pastor Wood, followed by Pledge of Allegiance. Floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to pray today. Father, I thank you that this city of Sedalia, Missouri is open to your intervention and involvement. So, Lord, we lift up the mayor, these city council members, the city administrators, the department heads, first responders, and all those that serve this community and local government. Lord, you told us to pray for those in authority so that we might live quiet and peaceable lives in all godliness. So we ask you to grant these leaders wisdom, not ordinary human wisdom, but your divine wisdom to lead well. Give them discernment, give them understanding, and grant them good judgment as they make decisions that affect this city. Lord, we ask you to give them courage to do what's right and help them lead with honesty, humility, and integrity. We stand against the author of confusion, selfish ambition, division, and corruption. Help these men and women work together for the good of Sedalia and the people that they serve. Surround them with wise counsel and people of character. Father, we ask you to protect Father, we ask you for your protection over our city, our families, our businesses, our schools, law enforcement officers, firefighters, emergency personnel, and all that make this community safe and strong. Lord, we also pray for the citizens of Sedalia. Lord, help us be a people of responsibility, honor, and faith. Teach us to be good neighbors and love our neighbors as ourselves. So, Father, we thank you that your hand's upon Sedalia. We declare your peace, your grace, your wisdom, your protection, and your blessing over this city. Your kingdom come, your will be done in Sedalia, Missouri, as it is in heaven. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Myers, will you call the roll?
Robinson.
Yes.
Ames.
Here.
Scribner.
Here.
Bogus.
Here.
Covington.
Here.
Cross.
Here.
Redford is absent, and Franklin.
Here.
All right. You have a quorum. Next on the agenda would be public hearing, annex petition.
Good evening. My name is Diane Simon, and I'm with E.W. Thompson, Inc., 906 Thompson Boulevard, Sedalia, Missouri. Here representing the property owner, we sold a 3-acre tract to Jennifer and Al Simon for the building of a large office building. And eventually, well, very soon, I'll be bringing to you a drawing of Westwood Avenue as we're extending it, and then it will turn and meet Winchester, which will open up for more development. And that's what we like to do, is bring more development, bring more business to Sedalia. If you have any questions, answer them. If not, that I would ask that you annex this tract into the city of Sedalia.
I'm sorry, what type of development?
Office.
Offices.
Mhm. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, presentation.
Mr. Mayor, you just need to open the public hearing and ask if there was anybody that was wanting to speak on the public hearing. If not, then you need to close the public hearing as well.
Would anyone like to speak on the public hearing portion of this?
Yeah, if not, you need to bang your gavel to close the public hearing, sir.
All right, we're going to close the public hearing. So Next on the agenda?
He's our presentation.
Yeah, so that's, yeah.
He's our presentation.
Next on the agenda, presentation of lawn care services. Yeah. We're good now.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Brian Shoemaker, owner of Shoemaker's Lawn Service here in town. So Shoemaker's Lawn Service is pleased to submit a proposal to the city of Sedalia to comprehensive lawn maintenance services. As a dedicated family-owned business and local 4 years community experience, we are fully equipped to assist the city with its heavy seasonal workload. Our primary objective is to enhance the safety, cleanliness, and visual appearance of our shared public spaces. We provide dependable, high-quality municipal landscaping solutions, including precision mowing, consistent turf cutting, tailored to specific height requirements, detailed edging and string trimming, through clearing the obstacles, fence lines, and curves, debris clearing and blowing, complete removal of grass clippings and adjacent sidewalks to roadways to ensure community safety and prevent drainage blockages. Over the past 4 years, Shoemaker's Lawn Service has established a strong reputation for reliability and quality care within the local area. Partnering with the city allows us to reinvest to our expertise into the community, ensuring municipal properties are meticulously maintained while actively reducing the operational burden of the city staff. On this agenda, we can start on July 16, 2026. Service frequency as determined by city standards and seasonal growth patterns. Service description, rate structure, municipal lawn care packaging, mowing, trimming, and roadway clearing. Note prices may vary depending on size and average specific municipal property. The rates quoted in this proposal will remain valid on an ongoing basis. Standard municipal billing and the invoice cycles will apply upon contract execution. Any questions?
Thank you. Next on the agenda, service awards. A retirement award.
Yeah, Melissa and Alex aren't coming.
Good morning or good afternoon, evening, Mayor and Council. It has been a very long weekend and a very long day. Tonight, I am very pleased to stand before you and present Mr. Joseph Parnell his 10-year service award for the city of Sedalia. It is hard to believe that 10 years ago, you were the first class that the city of Sedalia offered Fire 1 and 2 program for. He is a graduate of the #1 class that came through. And he was the first hire from that class. Thank God, not at that point. So back 10 years ago, back then Chief Ditzfield and the council and the mayor and everybody made the commitment to put funds into our Fire 1 and 2 Academy. Joe is the example of that committee, of that commitment. Trying to remember, I didn't write all the list down. In his 10 years, he's been driver, he's lieutenant qualified, so he's an officer qualifications. He has his rope rescue, technical rescue, driver operator, fire instructor 2, fire inspector 2. There is not a thing that goes on within the fire department that he does not have a hand into. I am very proud of Mr. Parnell and his 10 years of service to the fire department. I am very proud of what he has taken and accomplished and what he can continue to become. I truly hope that in 10 years, I get to stand here and give him his 20-year pen just to see what he's done. So on behalf of myself, Mayor, City Council, Joe, congratulations on 10 years of service to Sedalia.
The other two recipients, Mayor, they're not in attendance tonight, the other two.
Okay. So next on the agenda, retirement award.
It's a happy time that I get to be up here, but it's also not a happy time. However, unlike Chief Irwin, I can chew gum and present at the same time.
That's all right. That's all right.
Tonight, we're here to celebrate Sergeant Brad Beard's retirement. Sergeant Brad Beard started with the police department on January 11th of 1988 and retired June 1st of 2026. As I was writing Brad's retirement announcement, I was completely at a loss of what to say because there's simply too much. How do you recap 38 and a half years of a career in law enforcement, especially one that has been as diverse as Brad's? Luckily, one of Brad's skills is documentation and a desire to create spreadsheets no one else would ever think to do. But once he's finished the document, you're very grateful that Brad went to the effort of making it. One spreadsheet Brad made was an Excel sheet of all the officers who worked at the PD that he could research and document. I think the oldest entry I saw started in 1958. It is a full history of our department that would not have been captured anywhere else. And Brad brought many gifts to our ranks that fit outside the normal mold for police officers. Brad's spreadsheet also had all the jobs, positions, ancillary duties, leadership roles, and community partnerships he created or was involved in. I do not have time to read all of them, but there were 52 different roles over those 38 years that Brad did. I do want to take a few minutes to highlight a couple of them. Brad was a field training officer, a special response team member, a DARE mentor, trainer, and presenter, Citizens Police Academy instructor, community policing officer and coordinator, domestic violence task force member. He's a creator of the Women's Assault Avoidance and Self-Protection Program. He's a TASER instructor, CPR instructor, major case squad member, honor guard coordinator, officer of the year, and the only person in my career, or maybe ever in our agency, that has been awarded the Purple Heart. Sergeant Beard dedicated his life to service. I had the opportunity to work for Brad, with Brad, and ultimately the honor to supervise and lead Brad. And it was during the times of leading Brad that I really learned to appreciate what he brought to the PD and our citizens every day. Brad was always willing to do the hard jobs, the jobs that are just outside the normal officer purview, but still needed to be done. The kind of jobs you really want someone to volunteer for, not be voluntold to do. They weren't flashy or exciting, and they required a lot of effort, time, and commitment, and Brad would do them. Brad would volunteer, make it his own, and get the job done. For those of you who have ever had leadership positions, you know how important someone like that is to have with you. And for me personally, what I viewed as the most valuable was Brad's perspective and loyalty to the mission. Brad had the unique experience and ability to identify command level goals, needs, and perspective from a sergeant or an officer level. Brad could see what we were doing and communicate how it affected, good or bad, the patrol level. And any officer can figure out whether something's good or bad for them. What made this special is Brad could always identify deep in the weeds why something was being done and give quality analysis about the effectiveness of our approach and our strategy. Brad understood that every decision we made started with the good of the community, and he could give feedback from the patrol level to us for that. And I'm going to miss my talks with Brad on his and getting Brad's perspective. I'm going to miss Brad's experience and dedication, but Brad has earned his retirement and then some, and I wish him well in the things to come and thank him for his years of service and dedication, both within his standard police roles and all the ancillary areas. He made our service better. Would you please join me in thanking Brad for his years of service?
So next on our agenda will be the good and welfare portion.
I have two individuals signed up for agenda items, Mayor, and I have one for a non-agenda item.
Okay.
First one I have on agenda items, I have Kevin Lujan, and he wants to talk about the two code amendment things we're doing on the public participation, and then the draft on the agenda placement of items, and then the two bridge items.
Thank you, City Clerk Myers. Mayor and City Council members, just a few points on these different agenda items. First of all, regarding Ordinance 12255, it's basically, if you look at that ordinance, the whole ordinance is really disorganized and disjointed. Trying to figure out its intent half the time is practically impossible. The ordinance as a whole should be repealed, and if you think something else is needed from there, it should be voted on as a separate ordinance later on, in my judgment. As far as the amending the ordinances to address specific agenda items, I just hope you retain enough flexibility in it for future council members, so they won't have to go through an ordinance should they want to modify the direction of it, should there be committees added. Again, in particular, I think there's a critical item that needs to be addressed on a more regular basis, the Bothwell Regional Health Center. I think we've all read about the challenges rural healthcare is facing right now, and I think only having an annual update connected with the audit is insufficient. I think it would be helpful to the community if they could hear more often from different parties, either the board members or the leadership of the hospital, to hear and get periodic updates on the status. I think it would be a wonderful addition to the council meetings. Regarding the Washington Avenue Bridge, just want to remind people on the timeline here, because there was such urgency to get started, but then we hit a log jam early on due to, I think it was Department of, it was MoDOT, I believe, was part of it. I mean, one of the council members couldn't even make it to the meeting because there was such short notice on it. And there was only review, I think, a maximum of 2 days before a decision was made on the contractor. Not faulting the current contractor, but I think it's important to maybe make those important decisions in a timely fashion, but not so fast that maybe it doesn't end up leading to a lot of hindsight after the fact. Lastly, just connected with the bridge overall, I think it would be helpful to get updates on what the total financial impact has been with all these change orders that have come through. But most importantly, again, I just think everybody in this community will understand delays. I was involved with project management. We always had a saying, people plan and God laughs. And I think sometimes the community will understand that, but I think it's important to give those timely updates if there are going to be delays. Thank you.
Okay, the next one I have is Debbie Covington, and she wants to talk about the public participation ordinance, the records destruction request for administration, and also the Washington Street Bridge change order.
Okay.
Try to cram this in 3 minutes. P.O. Box 965. Mayor Williams, member of the council. Tonight, you're considering removing the 2 business day advance sign-up requirement from the ordinance 12255, the anti-free speech ordinance. While I do appreciate that change, removing one provision does not solve the real problem. Over the last 24 hours alone, 6 people, seriously, 6 people contacted me asking if I thought they'd be able to speak tonight. And because of the ordinance, I had to tell them they had likely missed the deadline to sign up to speak since it was a non-agenda item. I also told them this ordinance was being reconsidered tonight, and I'd hope that this would be different by the next meeting. Regardless, that's 6 citizens who believe they could not come before their own city council to address their government. That, to me, is unacceptable. The problem is Ordinance 12255 itself. This ordinance places unnecessary restrictions on citizens wishing to address their own government. It tells people when they can speak and places barriers between citizens and their elected officials. The city already has the authority to maintain order through reasonable time limits and rules of decorum. It does not need an ordinance that unnecessarily restricts public participation. The First Amendment protects the people's right to criticize their government, not just to praise them. If the council truly wants to restore transparency and public trust, don't simply amend the ordinance, repeal it, and start over. Mayor Williams, Councilman Covington, Councilman Redford, Councilman Robinson, you each campaigned on repealing this ordinance. I recognize there may not be unanimous support, and I commend you for getting this far, but each of you sitting up here took an oath to uphold the Constitution. I respectfully ask you to honor that commitment, draft a new ordinance that protects orderly meetings while fully respecting the constitutional rights of the people you were elected to serve. I'd also like to address the Washington Street Bridge. Tonight, considering the change order, it's the 7th one. Taxpayers deserve answers. Competitive bidding, it means it ensures fairness, and the change orders, so many of them, it's reasonable to ask if the project that's being built today is substantially different from what the project was when it was originally bid. And then I did put in a sunshine request today for the records that you all are going to vote on destroying tonight. It may be routine, I totally understand that, but I did put a request in to get copies of that. And because it's for the public good, I request those at no charge. And I thank you guys for your time and hope you take these matters into serious consideration. Thank you.
And then the only other person I have, Mayor, is Renee Vance, and she wants to talk about the July fundraisers for the Senior Center.
Okay.
Renee Vance, 19813 Tangleneck. We've got 2 fundraisers going on this month we're going to kick off our fiscal year. We have got the first one it is Too Hot to Cook barbecue. We're going to have hot dogs, chips, cookies, drinks, $8, and it will be on the 16th of July. We'll be serving from 5 to 6:30. And then our second one will be Chipotle. If you do online, we've got a code. And it is on the 28th. It'll be from 4 to 8. We will get 25% of all sales. And we really would love for everybody to eat at Chipotle's that night. But if you'll mention the flyer or there's a code WLVJTNT. And the only other thing that I have, I do thank everyone for the sponsorship that we did get, and we closed out about 18,000. So thank you very much.
That was the last one I had, Mayor.
Okay. Next on the agenda will be the approval of previous session minutes from June 15th, 2026.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next on the agenda is report of special boards and commissions and committees.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Roll call on standing committee. We have a finance administration led by Chairwoman Bogus.
We have 3 items tonight on the finance and administration. First one being, the ordinance amends the city's public works participation ordinance by eliminating the requirement that citizens sign up 2 business days before a meeting to provide public comment. The amendment provides greater flexibility for public participation while maintaining the existing rules governing the conduct during the meetings.
So next on this agenda is the code amendment for section 2-786, public participation during open meetings.
Yeah, you just need to call for the reading of the ordinance.
All right. I call for the reading of bill number 2026-75.
Bill number 2026-75. Pardon me. An ordinance amending section 2-786 of the City Code of Sedalia.
Second reading?
I have a motion and a second for the second reading of bill number 2026-75. All in favor?
I'd like to make a comment on this.
Okay.
With the eliminating the citizens sign up 2 days before the meeting, I would like to see us have a total time limit, like maybe 20 minutes or a half hour, or have a limit of people speaking.
Any further discussion about what he proposes?
I'm sorry, you're saying that
He wants
during
20
that
minutes.
public, you only want to be able to talk everybody within a 20-minute time span is what you're
Well,
saying,
Well,
suggesting?
or 20 minutes to half hour, or else have so many people speak. Because this could go on for 2 hours.
I understand the question that I understand what you're saying, but I don't believe we've had public discussion that has lasted 20 and 30 and 40 minutes thus far.
No,
Okay. And I believe that it would be under the direction and the supervision of the mayor to say, okay, we're going to cut it off now. That's just me.
that's fair.
Any further discussion? Do I have a motion and a second for the second reading of bill number 2026?
We already have that. We just need all in favor or all opposed on the second reading.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Bill number 2026-75. An ordinance amending section 2-786 of the City Code of Sedalia.
Final passage?
I have a motion and a second for the final passage of bill number 2026-75.
We just need a roll call, Mayor.
Oh, roll call.
Cross?
Yes.
Redford is absent. Franklin?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Ames?
Yes.
Scribner?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Covington?
Yes.
You have 7 yes, 1 absent.
The second item is a discussion on code amendment The council will discuss the potential development of an ordinance establishing formal procedures for placing items on and removing items from city council agenda. Adoption of a standardized process would provide clarity and consistency for the council, staff, and the public.
Any further discussion of the amendment of section 2-787? Haven't heard none. Motion passed. Oh. Next on our agenda.
Say, we'll need a direction from council whether or not to put this on an agenda.
We have a motion and a second. Put it on the agenda.
Motion to place the item on the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
For the next meeting, Councilman
next
For the
Boggs.
next meeting?
Yes, please.
Uh-huh. All right. So can I get a roll call for the passage?
Okay, yeah, we don't need a roll call on that. You just need an all in favor or any
For the next
opposed.
one, okay. Next on the agenda, Public Work Chairwoman Franklin?
We've got one more
Oh,
item.
sorry.
Item number 3 is the approved record destructions from the administration. Administrative staff request authorization for records destruction that have met or exceeded the retention periods established by the Missouri State Secretary of State Local Records Retention Schedule. Destruction of these records is conducted in accordance with state law and the city's record management practices to ensure compliance and reduce unnecessary storage of records no longer required to be maintained. So we need an approval for the records destruction.
Do we have a motion? Second? So move. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
That finishes finance and administration.
Okay. Next on the agenda, Public Work Chairwoman Franklin.
There are 3 items tonight. The first one, at the council's request, HDR Engineering will present an overview of the Washington Street Bridge Rehabilitation Project, discuss the remaining repairs identified during final inspections, explain the challenges encountered during the rehabilitation process, and answer questions regarding the work required before the bridge can be reopened to traffic.
All right. So I call for the reading of bill number 2026-76. Oh, presentation, sorry about that. On the bridge.
Good evening. Thanks for having me here. Like Councilman Franklin said, it was requested for HDR to come and give you guys a little presentation about the Washington Avenue Bridge and some of the history behind it.
I'm sorry, can you get it closer to the mic or speak a little louder?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that better? Okay, yeah. I'm going to try to give you guys a presentation on the Washington Avenue Bridge and kind of the history behind it, the repairs that we saw that needed to be done, kind of how the construction process went and where we're at with it right now. I'm John Karst. I'm the project manager for the project for HDR Engineering. I'm based out of our Kansas City office. And next slide, please, Matt. Quick overview here. I'll try to keep this pretty short and then have questions, but I'm going to give a little bit of bridge history, show some of the bridge repair plans, go over the construction RFIs, and then what we saw as part of our punch list walkthrough for the work that's remaining on the bridge. And just on your screen, so you guys can see what's shown there, the photo, that's one of the typical pier. We call that a pier that supports the bridge, and we'll talk about that a little bit as we go on. So the next slide will show some of the history here. This bridge has long history. It was first built, the first crossing here was in 1867. It only lasted about 5 years before it was taken down due to lack of use. So it was only there about 5 years. In 1910 and 1911 is when the current bridge, the bridge that's there today, that's when it was constructed. So in 1910 and 1911, the Midland Bridge Company built the bridge that you see there for a cost of about $12,000. And what you see there is predominantly what's there today as far as the approach spans are concerned. And so when you look at the bridge, there's the truss span, and that's the piece that has all the triangles in it. So that's the truss span, and then on each side is what we'll call the approach spans. And as you go through the history of it, you can see in 59, there was work on the sidewalk. In 61, the approach spans had new wood deck and stringers installed. In 73, similar, they worked on the substructure, put a new timber deck on it again, up until 1989. And 1989 was the first major project on this bridge. And what they ended up doing was essentially replacing the truss. So they took the truss down. It started replacing some of the pieces and parts. They ended up replacing all of the constituent parts. So in 1989, the truss was essentially completely replaced, and the approach spans continued to have additional repair work done to them. So they got new decking in, new stringers. They did some work on the railings, and I think some bracing to the substructure. And then at the very bottom there in 2008, had additional deck repairs, and that's when we started seeing some of the repairs to the substructure on the approach spans, which was to take and encase the steel legs that make the pier. It was to encase some of those in concrete because of the deterioration in the steel members there. The next slide will show a continuation of that. The major repairs and things like that, and kind of the modern area that we started seeing was in 2024. And so in 2024, MoDOT conducted their biennial bridge inspection of this bridge. So that meets the federal requirement of being inspected every 2 years. And so MoDOT was doing their inspection and made some critical findings that you can see. The photo's a little kind of whited out there, but you can see the upper right photo shows one of the support columns, and it's lost most of its steel section. And then the photo in the left there shows the top of that column with a substantial amount of section loss in it. So MoDOT did their inspection in early 24, told Sedalia they need to close the bridge because of this kind of section loss, and basically it's lost some of its load carrying capacity. So it was deemed not safe to leave open to traffic. And so in May is when HDR got involved with this bridge, and we started by going out and doing a condition assessment of the bridge. So we looked over it with our bridge inspectors. I was there, went through and documented some of it, and ultimately recommended, to the city that it remain closed until some repairs or some more analysis was done. We did another site investigation in November, basically after the city had decided that the bridge was worth keeping. So between May and November, there's a lot of discussion back and forth, like, what do we do with this bridge? It's an investment. It's sitting here. To replace it is a lot of work. The approaches are substandard due to the steep grades that come up to it. Did they want to invest in replacement or repair and that kind of thing? And so by November, the city had decided that they did want to invest in a repair solution to this to try to get it back open. And so we got under contract with the city at that point to do an in-depth analysis of the pieces of steel like you see there as far as capacity, like what needs to be strengthened and what needs to be replaced. So in December of 24 is when we started doing our analysis and rehabilitation design to ultimately get a set of plans together that can go out to bid to get this bridge back open. And then a couple other bullets there you can see in July, we had the preliminary plans done. By September, we had final plans done, and that's when the project went out to bid. So it went out to the contractors. Contractors bid on it, and it was let in October of 2025. And in November, we had our pre-construction meeting to get double arches going on the construction of that. Next slide will show just a high-level view. So this is a plan sheet looking down on the approach spans, and it just kind of shows like extend column encasement, replace column, and things like that. Next slide shows a typical elevation of the pier, and again, you can see like on the left, there's a column to be replaced. On the right, we say extend that concrete casement up, and a variety of other repairs. And the point of showing you guys this is just that every pier along these approach spans was different and needed a different treatment or rehabilitation to get it to where it's safe to reopen. And so this is what Double Arches was bidding on, and this is what they went out to bid or went out to construction based on the inspection that we did in November of 2024 and May. The next slide will show a brief summary of the RFIs that we received. The first 6 RFIs, kind of January through March of this year, were pretty easy, like desktop review. If there were changes, if there were change orders associated, they were probably pretty low cost. I'm not in tune with all of the change orders between the contractor and the city, but pretty minor work items. And then RFI 7 and RFI 10, those came in February and March. That's when we started seeing some new corrosion that was not seen in the initial inspection. And so Basically, what happens with a bridge like this, so the steel that you're looking at, it's 115 years old-ish. And so when we did our inspection, we identified all the areas that we could see, and we detailed the repairs for those. As the contractor started removing some of the elements to perform the repairs, what was happening to them is as they would remove something, they would uncover something else that had a bunch of section loss. So where we thought we would have good steel underneath the part that was removed, they would take it off and find additional corrosion. And then rightfully, ask the inspector or the city, hey, what should we do with this? And then we would look at that, either run load rating calculations on it or just based on condition, make a recommendation what should be done with it. And so, like in this case here on RFI 7 and 10, we recommended that the existing steel be cut out and plated over and welded in with new steel to reinforce it, and kept the contractor moving. The next slide will show the remaining RFIs. RFI 9 was in March. That was a question about the sidewalk support at Pier 7, which is one of the big concrete supports that holds up the truss. We gave a recommendation back on that, and the city has elected to defer that maintenance for now at least. And then RFI 12, which I think is what's shown on the right there, another case of the plan intent was to take this connection apart, strengthen it, and put it back together. In reality, what was needed here after we got into looking at it, because of all the section loss that was missing, or the section loss that had happened with the steel, it was in a lot worse shape than what we could tell in the initial investigation. And then the analogy I could give is it's kind of like when you go to do some work in your bathroom and you take the tile off the wall. The green rock might be a little bit rotted, so you pull it off and then you find mold underneath on the studs. Then you got a bigger issue on your hands. That's essentially what they were having here. As they were peeling away layers of this, they were finding that the existing old steel underneath this was more corroded than what we could see in the initial inspection. And so in this case here, we recommended that column be replaced. Unfortunately for the schedule, the column to make a new column to go back in here, it's a special order item. It's not something that a steel fabricator keeps on hand. It's something that they've got to get. They've got to source the plate and then put it together, weld it together, and it's a one-off kind of build. So once Double Arch has got the go-ahead to do that, they ordered the steel, I think March 31st or something like that. It was able to get out there April 20th, but the anchor bolts they needed was another couple of weeks, so it was May 1st before they got all the materials they needed to actually do the proper fix to this. And so this is an example of a schedule delay, and just by virtue of the nature of the work that's being done in the special order items with the steel. And then lastly is RFI 13. It was very similar to RFI 12. Basically, once they took some things apart at the top of the column, they found additional corrosion, and we recommended that column be replaced, and it had the same timeline as RFI 12. And that brings us to the last part of this. So after those repairs were made, all of the structural issues that we knew of had been addressed, and so contractors started into the last part, which was painting. And so to do the painting, the preparation for that is to sandblast all the old coatings off of the steel and get it clean before you apply the new paint. And so as a part of that, what ended up happening was there was additional section loss that was found that hadn't been seen in our initial inspection. And so that, like the picture in the lower left there, that's the bottom of the column. And again, you can see through that column. It should be solid steel. You can see through it. So most likely what happened there is that as the sandblasting work was being done, that steel was thin enough that it punched through the steel essentially, and pretty severe section loss was found there. And so as part of the punch list, we recommended the Double Arches go ahead and encase that in concrete, which is a similar fix to other work that they've already done. So they've got the details, but there is added work there to do that concrete encasement. And then another couple issues that we had with like some loose and missing bolts, the connection that needed to have some more analysis done to it to see if it's adequate. There's a sign that got some paint overspray on it. And then the sidewalk, we recommended that the sidewalk be repaired or remain closed to pedestrian traffic as part of that punch list review. And so I think that's the summary. I think the next slide says any questions on it. So there's another classic photo of the bridge, but happy to take any questions about this.
I think it was 2012 or 2013 when they took the bridge down and set it on the ground and overhauled it, and the columns too.
Yeah, in 2012 is when they added the third piling underneath the vents, yeah, yeah.
So they overhauled it while it's on the ground, and then they reinforced the columns, set it back, so
Okay.
at the
Oh,
time, it was in good shape.
Yeah, so the truss span itself, so we don't have any load rating info on that. MoDOT has looked into that a little bit. The firm that did the work in 2012, I think, has a load rating on that for the truss repairs that you're talking about. And then, yeah, when they added the third column, so the addition, those piers originally were just on 2 legs, and now there's a third leg in the middle of it to beef those up and to help the stability of it.
I have a couple questions. On your RFIs there, like 7 through 12, so all of that you found was behind a plate that was removed after the inspection, right?
Essentially so, yeah.
So
it
they had
was-
a steel plate over it, you removed the plate, and then behind the plate, you're expecting good steel, and there's just nothing there.
Essentially so. I wouldn't say we were expecting good steel. We knew that there was probably unknowns, yeah. So we just couldn't verify that, so the inspections we do up front are what we call non-destructive inspections, so we're basically just visual, or might hit it with a hammer or hit it with a scraper or something. So not necessarily expect it to be good, but we knew that once they started to unzip things, that they would probably find additional areas of corrosion there, and that's really what happened.
So what's the time frame that we can expect to be driving on the bridge? Projective?
The best person to answer that would be the contractor. I will say that they've got their, they've got their marching orders from us and our recommendations on the repairs to be made. I think the next item up is the change order to approve, or is the item to approve their change order to do that work. I don't want to speak on behalf of them. I can tell you that the work they need to do should not include any special order steel items or anything like that. What they will have to do is remobilize to get back on site, because as you guys probably know, they've basically pulled off the site. So they'll have to get, their equipment and tool trucks and things like that back on site to finish this last amount of work. How long that will take them, I do not know. The work itself, once they go on that work, I think it's a matter of, days, not weeks to do the work, but it's probably a question of when they can get back on site to do that.
Yeah.
Do you want me to repeat the question? Okay.
We'll address.
Yeah, so my company is the engineering firm. We're doing the design of the work, which is separate from the contractor that's actually doing the construction. Does that answer your question? Okay. We did the initial. Correct. Yeah.
We'll sustain until we can actually get the person that's working on the bridge, because we can't answer that question at this time, if that makes sense, as
Yeah.
far as time frame and stuff.
Right. Yeah, I can tell you that once they got to the punch list, the contractor had another job to go to. So the work that they knew they needed to do was done. When we did the final walkthrough of the punch list, that's when these last couple of items were found. So then they will have to come back, since they had. I can't speak to their schedule. I don't know what they're doing.
Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you for the presentation that you've done, because a lot of questions have been raised as to why it's taking so long. When I look at these pictures and I look at all of the corrosion and I look at all of the holes that are in what's holding that bridge up, or what was holding that bridge up, and I start thinking about our fire trucks and our firemen, our ambulances going over that, not knowing it was in that bad of shape. Yes, I want it opened immediately so that we can start using it, but I also want it done correctly so that we're not going back into this again, because it sounds like there was some work way back when that really could have been done or should have been done in a different way. So I appreciate what you're doing as far as investigating and making sure that it will be up to standard. It's 116 years old. It's a long time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I would agree. Yep.
Following HDR Engineering's presentation regarding Washington Street Bridge Rehabilitation Project, staff requests approval of change order number 7. The change order provides the completion of repairs identified during the final inspection process that are necessary to achieve final acceptance of the project and reopen the bridge to traffic. The change order also extends the contract by 23 calendar days, establishing a new project completion date of August 3rd, 2026. The proposed change order is in the amount of $68,060.
I call for the reading of Bill number 2026-76.
Bill number 2026-76, an ordinance authorizing change order number 7 for Washington Avenue Bridge Rehabilitation Project.
Second reading.
Second.
We have a second and a motion for the second reading of Bill number 2026-75, or 76.
Just need all in
For
favor.
discussion?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Bill number 2026-76, an ordinance authorizing change order number 7 for Washington Avenue Bridge Rehabilitation Project.
Final passage.
Second.
Okay, a second and a motion for the final passage of Bill number 2026-76. Motion passes. Oh,
Yeah, we just need a roll call, sir.
roll call. Sorry.
Redford is absent. Franklin?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Ames?
Yes.
Scribner?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Covington?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
You have 7 yes and 1 absent.
Okay. Next on the agenda, Public Works.
Got one more.
Oh, one more, sorry.
The Big Bikers Across Missouri at the Katy event is an annual event that has historically included overnight camping in Liberty Park. The proposed ordinance authorizes a one-day waiver of the City Code Section 38-4 to allow overnight camping and parking in Liberty Park October 12th, 2026 for event participants.
Call for a reading of Bill number 2026-77.
Bill number 2026-77, an ordinance allowing overnight camping, parking in Liberty Park for the Big Bikers Across Missouri BAM on the Katy event on Monday, October 12, 2026.
Second reading.
Second.
Got a motion and a second? Is there any discussion? Haven't heard none? Second reading?
You
Bill
need-
number 2026
Yeah, you'll need a all in favor.
Oh, all in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Bill number 2026-77, an ordinance allowing overnight camping, parking in Liberty Park for the Big Bikers Across Missouri BAM on the Katy event on Monday, October 12, 2026.
Final passage.
Second.
I have a second and a motion for the final passage of Bill number 2026-77. Any further discussion? Haven't heard none? Roll call, please.
Franklin?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Ames?
Yes.
Scribner?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Covington?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
And Redford is absent. You have 7 yes and 1 absent.
All right. Next on the agenda is Public Safety with Chairman Robinson.
We have no report.
All right, we have no report. All right. Next on the agenda will be Community Development with Chairwoman Ames.
We have 3 items to discuss tonight. The first is the proposed ordinance approves the final plat for Branch View Estates, which is near 12th Street and Marshall Avenue. The Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed the final plat and recommended approval by an 8-0 vote on its July 1st, 2026 meeting.
I call for the reading of Bill number 2026-78.
Bill number 2026-78, an ordinance approving the final plat for Brants View Estates in addition to the city of Sedalia, Pettis County, Missouri.
Second reading.
Second.
I got a second and a motion for the second reading of 2026-78. Is there any further discussion? Haven't heard none? All in favor?
Aye.
Bill number 2026-78, An ordinance approving the final plat for Branch View Estates in addition to the city of Sedalia, Pettis County, Missouri.
Final passage.
Second.
I got a second on the motion for the final passage. Roll call, please.
Robinson.
Yes.
Ames.
Yes.
Scribner.
Yes.
Bogus.
Yes.
Covington.
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Redford is absent, and Franklin.
Yes.
You have 7 yes and 1 absent.
Okay.
At the previous council meeting, Chief Building Official Demetrius Maduros presented several options for modifying the city's building permit fees to encourage the development of affordable housing. Following that presentation, the council directed staff to prepare an ordinance establishing an affordable housing building permit fee reimbursement program. The proposed ordinance would reimburse up to 50% of eligible community development permit fees, not to exceed $3,000, per qualifying single-family residential project constructed within the city's Chapter 353 redevelopment area and sold for $175,000 or less.
I call for the reading of Bill number 2026-79.
Bill number 2026-79, an ordinance establishing an affordable housing building permit fee reimbursement program for residential construction projects located within the city's Chapter 353 redevelopment area.
Second reading.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill number 2026-79. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Bill number 2026-79, an ordinance establishing an affordable housing building permit fee reimbursement program for residential construction projects located within the city's Chapter 353 redevelopment area.
Final passage.
Second.
I got a final passage for Bill number 2026-79. Roll call, please.
Ames,
Yes.
Scribner,
Yes.
Bogus,
Yes.
Covington,
Yes.
Cross,
Yes.
Redford is absent, Franklin,
Yes.
and Robinson.
Yes.
You have 7 yes, 1 absent.
The ordinance up for approval is a commercial real estate sales agreement and quitclaim deed for the sale of 3 city-owned lots located at 400, 402, and 406 West Clay Street to Booz and Boyd Properties Land LLC for $8,000. The properties will be conveyed as is, meaning the city makes no warranties regarding the condition of the properties or the title, and the purchaser accepts responsibility for conducting any desired inspections or due diligence. The purchaser intends to construct a single-family residence, and the city retains an option to repurchase the property if development does not occur within the time provided in the agreement.
Will I call for the reading of Bill number 2026-80?
Bill number 2026-80, an ordinance approving a quitclaim deed for the sale of properties commonly known as 400 West Clay, 402 West Clay, and 406 West Clay from the city of Sedalia, Missouri to Booz and Bird Properties Land LLC.
Second reading.
Second.
I got a second on the motion for the second reading of Bill number 2026-08 or 80. Any discussion? Haven't heard none?
Just need all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bill
Any
number,
opposed?
sorry. Bill number 2026-80, an ordinance approving a quitclaim deed for the sale of properties commonly known as 400 West Clay, 402 West Clay, and 406 West Clay from the city of Sedalia, Missouri to Booz and Bird Properties Land LLC.
Final passage.
Second.
I got a motion and a second for final passage of Bill number 2026-80. Roll call, please.
Scribner,
Yes.
Bogus,
I abstain due to kinship.
Covington,
Yes.
Cross,
Yes.
Redford is absent, Franklin,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
and Ames.
Yes.
You have 6 yes, 1 absent, 1 abstain.
Okay. Next on the agenda, other business. Acceptance of resignation.
We have a resignation, Plumbing Board of Examiners, Demetrius Maduros, Master Plumber Representative, effective immediately. Just need a motion and a second to approve that.
Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve resignation.
Second. You got a motion and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next on our agenda, appointments.
To members of the City Council from Mayor Travis Williams regarding new appointments and reappointments. New appointments, Board of Appeals, alternate Dwayne Christopherson, replacing Michael Bell, 5-year term expiring June 2031. Bothwell Regional Health Center Board of Trustees, Sean Foster, completing Cassie Brown's term expiring June 2029, and Peggy Van Dyke, replacing Dr. Mike Murder's 4-year term expiring June 2030. Park Board, Marie Dennis, completing Adam Porter's term expiring June 2028, and Aaron Himes, replacing Sydney Herrick, 3-year term expiring June 2029. Planning and Zoning Commission, Billy Helvey, completing Tolbert Rose term expiring June 2027. Plumbers Examining Board, Melvin Burnett, replacing Demetrius Maduros, Master Plumber, 1-year term expiring June 1, 2027. And a reappointment to Bothwell Regional Health Center Board of Trustees, Jolynn Turley, 4-year term expiring June 2030.
Do I have a motion and a second for approval?
Mayor,
Yes.
I would request that we hold off on the Bothwell nomination, just so that we can get, so I can get a little bit more information.
On just the one?
Just the one, Mr. Foster.
Okay.
Unless somebody else has, anybody else on the board, I don't, any questions or need any more information on. That's the only one I need more information on, if you please.
Well, we'll sustain from that nomination for now.
Do we have to hold all of them or just the one?
It sounded like Mayor withdrew that nomination for now. Would you
Yeah,
agree?
We'll table it until she gets some clarity on the nomination.
Okay. So then, but just the one, Sean
Just the
Foster
one.
for the hospital, and everybody else, if you wanted to approve in block.
Okay. Motion to approve in block with one removed.
With the exclusion.
Yeah.
I'll second.
So I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Appointment passes. Do we get a roll call?
No.
No roll call? Okay. So next on there, the agenda would be the liquor license.
We have one new license tonight and 14 renewals. We have one new license for Paige Shearer, doing business as Local Tap, 700 South Ohio, for a special event, Jaeger's Bike Night at 3001 South Limit, July the 10th, 2026, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then renewals for Mary Jane Stewart, doing business as American Legion Post number 642 at 2016 West Main, for liquor by the drink and Sunday sales. Christina Sherman, doing business as Jiffy Stop Food Mart at 1722 West Broadway, for packaged liquor and Sunday sales. Nathaniel Crow, doing business as the Vault Restaurante, 1886 Lounge, 322 South Ohio, for liquor by the drink and Sunday sales. Cody McSorley, doing business as Smoker Friendly at 1700 East Broadway, for packaged liquor and Sunday sales. Larry Gaffriel, doing business as Nakuni Japanese Steakhouse at 2401 West Broadway, for liquor by the drink and Sunday sales. Diana Green, doing business as Little Bighorn at 150 South Limit, for malt beverage. Christina Moore, doing business as Casey's number 3257 at 3050 South Limit, for packaged liquor and Sunday sales. Joshua Moore, doing business as Casey's number 2347 at 1601 East Broadway, for packaged liquor and Sunday sales. Denisha Hawkins, doing business as Casey's number 1601 at 3500 West 16th, for packaged liquor and Sunday sales. Tiffany Van Alstyne, doing business as Casey's number 1063 at 1909 West Main, for packaged liquor and Sunday sales. Mark Newman, doing business as Casey's number 1052 at 716 West 16th for packaged liquor and Sunday sales. Lancey Ulrich, doing business as Hampton Inn Sedalia at 3909 West 9th for liquor by the drink. Jeremy Klein, doing business as Cork and Bottle at 3806 East Broadway for packaged liquor and Sunday sales. And Jeremy Klein, doing businesses The Corner Lounge, 1604 South Ohio for liquor by the drink and Sunday sales.
Motion to approve in block.
Second.
I got a motion and a second to approve and block. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next on the agenda, miscellaneous items from the mayor or city council or city administrator. Do we have any? No. Haven't heard any. I motion to go to closed door session.
Motion to move into closed door meeting upstairs in the conference room pursuant to subsections 1, legal advice, 2, real estate, 3, personnel, 12, negotiated contracts, and 13, individually identifiable personnel records of section 610-021 RSMO.
Second.
We got a motion and a second.
We need a roll call, Mayor.
Roll call.
Robinson? Yes. Ames?
Yes.
Scribner?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Covington?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Redford is absent, and Franklin.
Yes.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Going to close.
Not for this. I took it out.
Motion got open?
You have to give a second.
What?
Oh.
Covington. Okay. Robinson.
Yeah.
Ames. Scribner.
Yes.
August.
Yes.
Covington.
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Redford is absent. Franklin.
Yes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.